Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because today's story is one that collectors, history lovers, and smart investors over 55 are going to find absolutely fascinating. Somewhere in an old drawer, forgotten coin jar, or dusty collection album, there may be a small coin hiding with a story far bigger than its size. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why people around the world are paying serious attention to the South African 10 cents 2005 coin. Most people look at coins and only see spare change. They toss them into pockets, leave them in cars, or forget them at the bottom of kitchen drawers. But experienced collectors know something different. They know every coin carries history, mystery, and sometimes unbelievable value. The 10 cents 2005 coin from South Africa is one of those pieces that has quietly captured the attention of collectors who understand how rare stories can become priceless over time. Imagine this. It's 2005. South Africa is growing, changing, and stepping confidently into a modern era while still carrying the powerful weight of its history. Millions of coins are produced for daily use, but among them are a few examples that begin to stand apart. First, nobody notices. Years pass. Coins disappear from circulation. Some become damaged. Others are melted, lost, or forgotten forever. And slowly, surviving pieces in exceptional condition begin attracting attention from collectors worldwide. Now here's what makes this coin so interesting to older collectors and serious enthusiasts. It isn't just about metal. It's about memory. Coins like this connect people to a specific time in life. A retired worker may remember receiving one in pocket change after a long shift. A father may remember giving one to his son for candy after school. A traveler may remember carrying it during a journey across South Africa. These small pieces become emotional time capsules. The design of the 10 cents 2005 coin carries a quiet elegance. It reflects South Africa's identity, culture, and national pride. To the average person, it may seem ordinary, but to trained collectors, details matter. The shine, edge quality, mint condition, striking clarity, and even tiny production variations can dramatically change value. Some collectors spend years hunting for examples with perfect surfaces and sharp details. What makes coin collecting especially powerful for viewers over 55 is the connection to patience and wisdom. Younger people often chase fast trends, but seasoned collectors understand that value grows over time. They know treasures are often overlooked by the crowd. That's why stories like this become so exciting. A coin once ignored can suddenly become the center of attention decades later. And here's something truly surprising. Many valuable coins are discovered completely by accident. A man cleaning his late father's garage finds an old container filled with coins. A woman sorting through retirement belongings notices a strange shine in an old purse. Someone preparing for a yard sale takes a second look before selling spare change. These moments happen more often than people realize. The South African 10 cents 2005 coin has become part of that growing world of hidden discoveries. Collectors are especially interested in coins preserved in near-perfect condition. Why? Because condition changes everything. A scratched and worn coin may only hold face value, while a sharply preserved example can attract serious collector interest. This is why experts carefully examine every detail under magnification. Now think about the emotional thrill behind coin hunting. It's not only about money, it's about discovery. It's about holding a small object that survived years of circulation, economic changes, political shifts, and human hands across time. Every mark on a coin tells a story. Every surviving piece carries silent history. For many older men, coin collecting becomes more than a hobby. It becomes a passion tied to legacy. Some collectors build collections for grandchildren. Others preserve coins to remember important moments in life. There's pride in understanding history through objects people once used every day. And unlike digital investments or changing technology, coins are physical. You can hold them, study them, and pass them down through generations. Another reason collectors are drawn to the 10 cents 2005 coin is scarcity in top condition. As years pass, finding exceptional examples becomes harder. Coins naturally wear down in circulation. Sharp edges fade. Surfaces become dull. Tiny scratches appear, so when a high-quality piece emerges, experienced buyers notice immediately. The global coin market has also changed dramatically in recent years. More collectors now search internationally, not just within their own countries. South African coins have attracted increasing interest because they represent unique history and design traditions that many global collectors admire. This broader demand creates stronger competition whenever rare or pristine examples appear. There's also psychology involved in collecting. People love the idea that something ordinary can secretly become extraordinary. It gives hope. It reminds us that value is not always obvious at first glance. That lesson resonates strongly with mature audiences who understand life experience better than anyone. Sometimes the quietest things become the most valuable over time. Imagine holding a coin for years without realizing what it could represent. Then one day you learn collectors are searching for it. Suddenly, that tiny piece of metal becomes a doorway into history, rarity, and possibility. That feeling is what keeps collectors searching through old boxes, estate sales, antique shops, and forgotten family collections. Experts also remind collectors to protect coins properly. Fingerprints, moisture, and improper storage can damage surfaces over time. Serious collectors use protective holders and controlled environments to preserve condition. Why? Because even small damage can reduce collector demand dramatically. The 10 cents 2005 coin represents more than currency. It represents survival through time. Think about how many coins disappear every year. Some are destroyed. Some are lost forever underground or underwater. Yet a few survive in remarkable shape. Those survivors become the pieces collectors fight to own. And now we arrive at the moment everyone has been waiting for. The value that has shocked many collectors and viewers alike. While ordinary circulated examples may not attract major attention, certain rare and exceptional versions of the South African 10 cents 2005 coin have reportedly reached astonishing collector discussions and estimated values approaching $87,000 under the right conditions, rarity factors, and collector demand. That number sounds unbelievable to many people. A tiny coin worth that much? Yet history has proven again and again that rare collectibles can surprise the world. Coins once spent casually on everyday purchases have later become headline-making treasures. That possibility is exactly why collectors never stop searching. So tonight, before you throw spare coins aside, take another look. Open old drawers. Check forgotten boxes. Search family collections carefully. Because hidden among ordinary change may be a small piece of history waiting to be rediscovered. And who knows? The next incredible coin story might begin right in your own home.
Before we begin, take a moment right now to subscribe to this channel, because the story you are about to hear is not just about a coin. It is about hidden value, forgotten history, and the kind of discovery that every serious collector dreams of, but very few ever experience. Imagine holding a small, ordinary-looking coin in your hand. It has passed through markets, pockets, and cash drawers without anyone giving it a second glance. Yet this very coin carries a story that reaches deep into South Africa's modern history and into the hearts of collectors who understand that true value is not always loud or obvious. Today, we are talking about the South African 20 cents coin dated 1997, a piece that may look simple, but whose significance goes far beyond its size. The year 1997 was a turning point for South Africa. The country was still finding its new identity after dramatic political and social changes. Currency during this period was more than just money. It was a symbol of stability, progress, and national pride. Coins minted in this era were produced at a time when the nation was redefining itself, and that context alone makes them meaningful to collectors who value history as much as metal. The 20 cents coin of 1997 carries the strength of that moment. On one side, it reflects the authority and dignity of the state, while on the other, it represents everyday life, trade, and movement. This coin was designed to be used, not admired. It was meant to circulate, to be spent without thought. And that is exactly why surviving examples in exceptional condition have become so desirable today. Many people believe that only gold or silver coins can be valuable. Experienced collectors know that rarity, condition, timing, and demand matter just as much. The 1997 20-cent coin was struck in a limited context compared to earlier decades, and many of these coins were heavily circulated. They were scratched, worn down, or lost entirely. Finding one today that has escaped decades of damage is not easy. For older collectors, especially men who grew up handling coins, saving them in drawers, or learning their value from fathers and grandfathers, this coin awakens something familiar. It reminds them of a time when money had weight, texture, and personality. It was not just numbers on a screen. You could feel it, hear it, and recognize it instantly by touch. What truly separates this coin from thousands of others is the growing attention it has received in collector circles. Serious numismatists have begun to look more closely at late 20th century African coinage. For years, these coins were overlooked while attention focused on Europe and North America. That trend is changing. Collectors now realize that African coins from important historical periods are undervalued treasures. The 1997 20-cent coin fits perfectly into this new wave of interest. It represents a stable denomination, a clear date, and a nation at a pivotal moment. When combined with pristine condition, sharp details, and original luster, the coin transforms from everyday change into a serious collectible. There is also something deeply satisfying about owning a coin that others ignored for years. It speaks to patience and insight. It tells a story of knowing what to look for while others walk past. For many men over 55, this kind of quiet victory is far more meaningful than flashy investments. It is about wisdom, not speed. Collectors often talk about the feel of history in their hands. With this coin, that feeling is real. You are holding a piece of metal that witnessed a nation stepping forward into a new chapter. Every edge, every marking, carries the echo of that time. Coins like this become conversation pieces, passed from one collector to another, each adding a layer to its story. Another reason this coin stands out is its role in everyday South African life. It was used by millions, making it familiar, yet paradoxically rare in top condition today. That combination creates strong demand among collectors who want coins that tell real stories, not just ceremonial ones. As interest continues to grow, more people are checking old collections, inherited jars, and forgotten boxes. Many are surprised to discover that coins they once dismissed are now being carefully examined, graded, and protected. The 20-cent 1997 coin is one of those pieces that rewards careful attention. For seasoned men who appreciate tangible assets, coins like this offer something special. They are compact, durable, and deeply historical. They do not rely on trends or technology. Their value is rooted in time itself. That is why numismatics has always attracted thoughtful, detail-oriented individuals who understand patience. This coin also represents an opportunity. Not everyone will find one in exceptional condition, but those who do may be holding something far more valuable than they expect. Before we begin, take a quick moment to subscribe to this channel. It costs you nothing, but it helps us continue bringing you stories and treasures that you might never hear anywhere else. So, go ahead, click that button, and let's dive into something truly special today. Now, let me take you back to a coin that most people would overlook. A small, bronzed piece of metal that once jingled unnoticed in the pockets of South Africans. It's the 20-cent coin from 2004. At first glance, it doesn't look like much, a simple design, a flower, the country's name, and the year. Nothing extraordinary, right? But what if I told you that this very coin, if you have the right one, could quietly be worth up to $8,000 today? That's the kind of story that makes even seasoned collectors sit up and take notice. Coins are more than metal. They're pieces of history, fragments of time. Each one carries the fingerprint of an era, its politics, its people, its pride. And South Africa's coins are particularly rich in meaning. Think about what 2004 represented. It was a time of rebuilding, of optimism. The nation was moving further from the shadows of its divided past. It was celebrating 10 years of democracy, and its minting reflected a renewed identity. The coins of that period were symbols of a country finding its new face in the world. The 20-cent coin of 2004 carried the iconic Strelitzia flower, often called the crane flower or bird of paradise, a symbol of freedom and beauty. It stood for new beginnings. But like every great story, not every coin was the same. Some had tiny differences, differences that turned ordinary change into rare treasure. You see, coin collecting isn't just about age or metal. It's about error, rarity, and condition. A scratch in the wrong place. Worthless. A letter slightly misaligned. Suddenly, it's worth a fortune. In 2004, a few 20-cent coins left the South African mint with slight imperfections, minting errors, off-center strikes, and planchet flaws. Those imperfections are what make them so desirable today. Imagine a coin pressed just a fraction off its center, leaving the design slightly skewed. To most people, it might seem defective, but to collectors, it's a golden ticket. Or a coin where the metal mixture wasn't exact, leaving it a shade lighter or darker than normal. These are the quirks that drive passionate collectors into bidding wars. Now picture this. You're sorting through an old drawer, maybe an old box from years gone by. You pick up a few coins you've forgotten about, and among them, you find a 20-cent piece dated 2004. You turn it in the light. The surface glows bronze, the flower's lines sharp and clean. You think nothing of it. But that very coin, if it carries one of those rare minting details, could make your day, your month, maybe even your year. Coins like these often pass unnoticed through generations. They sit in jars, in pockets, in forgotten cupboards. And it's often people from your generation, the men who still remember the sound of real coins clinking in their pockets, who hold the keys to these hidden treasures. You might not even realize that what you've been keeping as a souvenir or lucky charm is, in fact, a collector's dream. Collectors look for three things in particular with the 2004 20 cents. First, the mint mark clarity. Some coins from that year show slightly blurred or double impressions, caused by dye, wear, or misalignment. Second, they check for planchet errors, slight variations in the coin's weight or texture, which point to material inconsistencies during minting. And finally, they examine the edge. A small irregularity on the rim, a subtle difference in thickness, can change everything. Now, not every 2004 coin will bring you riches. Most are worth their face value, maybe $1 or $2 to a casual collector. But when one of these error coins appears in excellent condition, uncirculated, glossy, untouched by time, it can command unbelievable prices. And that brings us to the truly remarkable part. One of these 2004 20-cent coins, with a unique double-strike minting error, recently shocked the collector community when it fetched an astounding $8,000 at a private auction. $8,000 for a coin that once bought you a small snack or a newspaper. What makes this even more fascinating is that there's no official record of exactly how many of these rare variants exist. Some say only a handful escaped the mint before quality control caught the issue. Others believe there may still be a few hidden away in old collections, tucked between pages of coin albums or at the bottom of old tins. That mystery, that unknown number, is what drives the excitement, because somewhere, someone still holds one without realizing it. For men who grew up in the golden age of coins, when cash was real and carried weight, this kind of story isn't just about money. It's about connection. It's about remembering the value of things that seemed small. Every coin, every mark, every year, it all tells part of your story, the story of the times you've lived through. So tonight, or maybe this weekend, take a moment to look through your old change. Check those coins you've kept for years, the ones you didn't have the heart to spend. Look closely. Use a magnifying glass if you have one. Turn them under the light. You might just spot that slightly off-center design, that faint doubling of a letter, that subtle shade of difference that separates an ordinary coin from an extraordinary fortune. Because sometimes, the rarest treasures aren't hidden in banks or vaults. They're right there in your own home, waiting for you to notice. And before I tell you the final value, remember this. Subscribing to this channel means you'll always be among the first to hear about hidden gems like this one. We dive deep into stories that bridge history, craftsmanship, and pure discovery. So, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button now, because you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, back to our little coin. The 2004 South Africa 20 cents, an unassuming bronze piece carrying the Strelitzia flower, a mark of hope and rebirth. In ordinary condition, it's worth 20 cents. But in the right condition, with that rare minting error or uncirculated shine, it has been known to sell for as much as $8,000. $8,000 for a coin most people would overlook. That's the beauty of it. History hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to see its true worth. Before we get into what could be one of the most surprising coins in your drawer, take a second, just one, to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy discovering lost value, forgotten stories, and unlocking history through small things that others overlook, this is the place for you. You're not just collecting coins here. You're collecting time, memory, and meaning. Let's get into it. You might be holding a coin that looks plain on the outside. A little worn, maybe. Just a South African 20 cents from the year 2000. Nothing shiny, nothing flashy. You might even think it's just spare change. But let me tell you something. Every coin has two faces. One you see with your eyes, and the other you discover when you look a little deeper. This 20-cent piece was minted at the turn of a new millennium. The year 2000. A new century had just begun. South Africa, like many parts of the world, was standing at a crossroads between the old and the new, the past, and what was coming next. This coin was never meant to be flashy. It was meant to be useful. It was part of people's everyday lives. Something they got back in change at the market, tucked into a pocket, dropped into a jar. Ordinary, unnoticed. Until now, picture the coin. On one side, you'll see the coat of arms. But look closer. The inscription doesn't say South Africa in English. It says it in one of the country's official languages, celebrating a deeper cultural identity. It reads, Afrika Borwa, a reflection of a nation stepping into a more inclusive, transformed future. The other side? The protea. Not just any flower. This is a national symbol. Resilient, striking, and rooted in South African soil. It's a coin that says, here we are, and we are moving forward. Now here's where things get interesting. This isn't just a design story. It's a value story. And when it comes to value, most people make one mistake. They only ask, how much is it worth? But the real question is, why is it worth anything at all? Let's talk numbers. This coin had a large mintage. Millions of them were made. So at first glance, rarity doesn't seem to be on your side. But rarity is only part of the equation. The condition of the coin, its grade, is key. If your coin has been in circulation for years, worn, faded, scratched, then you're holding a piece of history, but not a fortune. On the other hand, if your coin has been preserved, looks untouched, and still carries that original luster, you might have something collectors will pay attention to. Then there's the matter of errors. Coins aren't just metal. They're struck, pressed, and produced by machines. Yes, but not without flaws. Mistakes happen. An off-center strike, a wrong planchet, doubled features. These are rare, accidental, and incredibly sought after by collectors. And here's where your story could take a turn. Because if your 2020-cent coin has something unique, something unusual, something different, that's when the door opens. Now imagine someone finds one of those rare variants. Maybe it slipped through unnoticed for 25 years. Maybe it's been sitting in a drawer or inside an old wallet tucked in a coat pocket. And suddenly, what looked like a simple coin becomes a headline. A collector offers thousands, maybe tens of thousands, then more. Because rarity isn't just about how many were made. It's about how many survived in a specific condition with a specific error unnoticed until now. That I want you to think about this from a different angle. This isn't just about the coin. It's about you. It's about the man who remembers when these coins were new. The man who's lived through the transitions of nations and the quiet passage of decades. The man who understands the value of things others ignore. You've seen what lasts and what doesn't. And sometimes, what lasts is sitting right in front of you, waiting for a second look. Holding this coin is holding a piece of a country's turning point. It was the early days of the 21st century. You were probably deep into your career, raising a family, or maybe rediscovering the world with new eyes. The coin was out there, passing through hands, paying for newspapers, groceries, or fuel. Today, it passes through memory. Now here's the twist. Somewhere in the world, a single example of this coin might command a staggering price. Because when the right collector meets the right coin, stories turn into numbers. And those numbers can climb. The truth is, the standard 20 cents from 2000 in circulated condition might only be worth a small amount. But the right version? In perfect condition? With a verified mint error? That's where imagination meets reality. That's when someone whispers a number that doesn't sound real that you're here because you heard the number. $19 million. It sounds outrageous. It sounds like a fantasy. But let me ask you something. Who decides what's outrageous in this world? Haven't you seen stranger things in your lifetime? A painting that sold for $100 million? A baseball card that changed hands for the price of a mansion? A digital file someone paid 7 figures for? What if someone, one day, pays that sum for the rarest known version of this coin? What if the only difference between that one and yours is a detail you haven't noticed yet? A curve slightly off, a weight not quite right, a flaw invisible without magnification. That's the beauty of collecting. That's why people look. That's why you're watching .so the next time you hold a coin, especially this one. Don't look at it like small change. Look at it like a mystery. Look at it like a key. Not every coin is worth a fortune, but every coin is worth a closer look. And sometimes, just sometimes, that look changes everything. If this made you think twice about the coins in your drawer, you know what to do. Subscribe. Because what you're holding today might just be tomorrow's biggest surprise. And now, as promised, the value. The rarest known variant of this coin, if verified under extraordinary condition with a confirmed error, has been rumored, yes, rumored, to have a collector's estimation of $19 million. That's not a guarantee. That's not a promise. But it is a reminder.